N, General Manager at Brex India Private Limited, Mr. Thanu Sanmugam, General Manager at Renault Nissan Automotive India Private Limited. Welcome you, sir. Well, let me give you the insight of today's topic, world of mechanical engineering and its journey. I could say very loud and clear that nothing can be made in this world without mechanical engineering. It's not an overrated statement, it's a fact. Whether it's a small pin or a big aircraft or a big missile, you need to go through mechanical engineering. Well, it's not mechanical engineering. In fact, all core engineering are the backbone of this nation building. I would say this beautiful world is built by core engineering. Even computers and its allied products, even robots, needs jigs, fixtures, mold, 3D modeling. I hope you are all following me. All right, let's hear the journey of mechanical engineering from the industry's top-notch professionals. Let's begin. We welcome Mr. Thanu Sanmugam, Renault Nissan General Manager, to start the discussion. Mr. Thanu Sanmugam is heading the plant at General Manager capacity, who is a very dynamic and result-oriented person who always leads the cutting-edge manufacturing plants, handles big operations. We welcome you, sir. The question to Mr. Thanu Sanmugam for today's discussion: how has the mechanical engineering industry, which includes its allied automobile mechatronics, changed in last 5 years? What do you predict it will happen in the next 5 to 10 years? Over to Mr. Thanu Sanmugam, General Manager, Renault Nissan India Private Limited.
Good morning, sir. Is it audible now from my side?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much to all the people. Good morning to all the members available there in this conference. And thank you very much for giving an opportunity to discuss about this mechanical engineering. Basically, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I developed for the last 25 years in this particular mechanical field. And just as per the questions as you asked about this, what is the change happened in the last 5 years and what is going to happen next 5 to 10 years? See, basically, I would like to tell you here, there are significant changes happened in the mechanical engineering. Basically, if we consider the mechanical products which are developed and prototyped and manufactured, there is a shift from the mechanical system to more oriented towards the software and the data-driven tools from the design stage and at the application level directly connected to the internet. So people who are in the fresh, who has passed 12th standard actually, they should know this is mechanical engineering is one of the ever green engineering field, which deals with all like concept of starting from thermodynamics and fluids, mechanics, and the structural analysis, etc., etc. So it is having vast field to experience in this area. Those who are passionate in this particular mechanical field and they can contribute in terms of developing new systems, new methodologies for manufacturing any product and supporting for human requirements, particularly for when the need is there. Mechanical engineering is one of the field which helps in terms of satisfying the needs of the people. And here this mechanical engineering is basically it's starts with the design and maintenance and testing of machines, etc. And it's an application of mechanics and material science and mathematics and physics. So actually, with the rise of modern technology, basically it has witnessed a newfound importance and more students opting towards this robotics and mechatronics, nanotechnology, etc., etc. You know this no industrial 4.0 and that is digitalization is rapidly changing the mechanical engineering sector. If you take a mechanical engineering sector, that artificial intelligence and the machine learning to big data, These technologies are transforming the way the engineers develop and design the new equipment. This technology is creating new opportunities for mechanical engineers to develop innovative products for the customers. This is really great, and I think it's an interesting field for all the people to enjoy. So what we expect in the future, actually, this when you see IoT is Internet of Things. It's connected to the software, and there is a shift way from for the mechanical systems to towards move towards the software and the data-driven tools, both in the design stage and as well as in the application level. So what happens in this case when the people are working only for mechanical and they got the idea about this IoT, they are able to develop the products in such a way that it's quite interesting for the customers. That's clear. Now IoT simply applies this helps in mechanical design engineers to identify and solve the problems with their products in a faster way. If you see, according to the research, this IoT online will rise to 75 billion to 2000 by 2025. This is the prediction at present based on the based on the prediction given by a survey. So that means that future mechanical engineering must be ready for a new age of simulations and this integrated design process, which will make the workflow more streamlined. Also, if you come to the automobile sector, there is an electrical vehicles, which is fast moving now, one of the fast growing market, and in India, it's getting developed, and it will be definitely on the higher side because it's environment friendly for all the people in India also. As the global is focusing for the environment cleanliness. India is also contributing for this environment in terms of clean environment. So this EV, when it comes, basically the proportion of the person is to develop mechanical engineers to develop the normal chassis, frame and body, seating, airbags, etc., and cooling system for the electronic vehicles. Also, it depends. Not only for the mechanical side, electrical side also, they have to understand the in the future vehicle how the heat around these automotive vehicles moves and the fluid dynamics, etc., for the person to understand. So in this way, there is a wide range of opportunities for the mechanical engineers with the rise of electronic vehicles. And also, I said that when the future is considered, this renewable energy is the most important technology, which is being looked into by all the members. So that shift towards this sustainable practice is most important now for the India also to focus. So so this mechanical engineering sector in this case is very well positioned to create the solutions and enable this resource friendly manufacturers to make sure that the recycling operations and ensuring waste materials are leaving warehouses in the right way. And plastic is an example where we have developed many solutions, and it's we are able to manage in a waste management in a comprehensive way. Finally, touching upon the future, particularly for our mechanical engineers, there is a field robotics and mechatronics, which is really important for the new people to understand this, and this is the area of development which is going to happen. It's starting going to support from starting from regular operations to till the defense operations. We are going to deploy this type of robotics and mechatronics field, and that will help them to make the mechanical engineers know to manage and develop in new ideas and make sure that things are in right directions. If you see the automobile industry to heavy duty lifting machines and the modern aircraft, these modern systems are being designed with the supervision of, is going to happen with the supervision of expert mechanical engineers. So they will not be, you will not be finding only mechanical engineers limiting themselves to the manufacturing industries anymore. So they are being welcomed in various industries with open arms, and I expect that high compensation packages also will happen. So this provided the skill of the employees, skill of the students is very high and proficient enough to come up. I wish you all the best. I think it's really great for giving the opportunity. Thank you very much, Mr. Sundarbo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It really gave a lot of perspective. Let me go to Mr. Lakshmi Narasimhan, a General Manager, Breaks India Private Limited, who is a hardcore engineer turned human resource leader, able administrative leader, IR, HR. He handles multiple leadership role. He is a popular figure among the academicians. He has been into the fresh graduate recruitment for many decades. So let me ask very interesting question to Mr. Lakshmi Narasimhan. Sir, what is the biggest challenge in the field of mechanical engineering at the moment, including the recent pandemic? You can go ahead, sir.
See, thank you very much, sir, for the invitation and opportunity to share a few of my thoughts. And thank you, as rightly said by you, the pandemic has made mechanical engineering into a most fearful profession. Many people are thinking at that because last 1.5 years we are all into a work from home culture, work from home learning. So we are not, we are all had the fear of it. As rightly said, the challenges for a mechanical engineering industry is to maintain these COVID norms. Any engineering industry today, if you see that the social distancing at work or the sanitization at regular intervals and the disinfection, what has to happen, and see that the bio bubble, keeping the bio bubble safe is one of the biggest challenge. Even my experience of dealing with some of the graduate engineers, what we are interviewed recently, the first question many of them ask, can we get an opportunity to work from home? So many of them are, I have been into the world of work from home or being into the world of computers. So they thought the life is all limited to that. My dear friends, if you see the last 1.5 years, the role of mechanical engineer is very, very amazing. A lot of frugal innovations are happening in every field, whatever is it. Every pandemic situation has given an opportunity for the core engineers to rise to the occasion and then do it. If you see the infrastructure point of it, the country has built biggest roads and biggest infrastructures in the last 1.5 years. If you see the electrical side, a lot of improvements happen. Same thing with mechanical engineering. A lot of new innovations and inventions are happened in the core mechanical engineering field. So a lot of opportunities there. As such, the challenge, biggest challenge is to keep the human intact, keeping the person at work. So we could see that the moment we have to bounce back to the industry and gear up the business requirement, lot of challenges are overcome in a short span of time. One such challenge, as we were telling about the keeping the social distance at work, we could see that a lot of innovation had come at many places where the workplace stations were very close, contact each other. Today, we are able to create some new addition to that, which made the things very easy to accommodate and work. But this is also given an opportunity for a mechanical engineer to look at into other skills which we were not known 1.5 years back. As you rightly said, I am a mechanical engineer. I would have not known what is the need for a digital skills. Today, everything is getting into an AI mode, the IoT, the Internet of Things, or the industry Internet of Things. The skills in terms of programming, the data analytics is coming in there. So there are a lot of blending has happened in the field of mechanical engineering. Data analytics come in a big way. People are able to operate the machine sitting at home and then do control on that. The second thing which is given big an opportunity for a mechanical engineer in the pandemic is the problem solving skills. We could see that the analytical and creative thinking of mechanical engineers have gone up to the great level. If you see in the last 1.5 years, companies have shifted from product and from auto industry to healthcare industry. Things have changed. And it has also helped for every industry. It's not only mechanical engineering, for all the people, a process of learning continuously. Today, we are able to learn over the virtual platform of the working hours, of the on the working hours, and then constantly. And the situation is also made us to adapt to 3 different styles of working called as the work from home option, as well as work from office option, and the third one is work from anywhere. So the challenges which has paved us in this pandemic is the tech savviness. A lot of investments are happened in terms of the AI, the big data, the AR and VR reality, augmented and virtual reality, the robotics. So these are all the great opportunity for a mechanical engineer to blend himself into a combination of 3 different dimensions: in electrical engineering, or computer engineering. So the multi-skill dimension is the one challenge which is created due to this pandemic. So be ready to make yourself a multi-skill personality so that your career will be going on a jet speed. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lakshmi has touched a wide range of perspectives. It was really very, very insightful. Let me move to another top-notch expert in the panel, Mr. Balasubramanian K, who is a president, Seshadri Training Institute, the Sanmar Group, a very senior professional in the industry, highly respected professional in the training and mentoring vertical industry. Let me ask a very interesting question to Mr. Balasubramanian. Sir, what are all the critical changes we must make in the world of mechanical engineering to face the future? Please, sir.
Okay. First of all, I thank KCG College of Technology for giving this opportunity to talk to the young students, young minds, bright engineers who are going to build the tomorrow's India. And I also thank my co-panel members, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan and Mr. Tanu Shanmugam, for their very good inputs, where we are going, where we are heading on. And I thank Dr. Sundari and Chandramohan for inviting me for this event. Before answering the questions shot at me, I put myself into the shoes of the students who are sitting in your auditorium, or the students who are going to view or viewing this program. I do not want to talk on very hi-fi things. See, mechanical engineering is the mother of engineering. Ever since the Industrial Revolution started way back in late 17th, 18th century, it has not completely gone. It will never go. As long as the human beings are there, mechanical engineering is going to stay. That is point number one. Point number two, see, we have been talking that China is the manufacturing industry or the manufacturing factory or a factory for the entire world. That is changing now, and it is going to change in a big way in the coming decade. We are going to see India is going to be a key manufacturing factory for the entire world, for the developed countries as well as for the India. So this is going to give a lot of opportunities for the budding engineers. Three, so you know what our Mr. Modi says, everything self-reliant, right? From manufacturing drugs or manufacturing aircrafts or manufacturing missiles or aerospace equipment, we need to make in India. So we have been dependent for so long on developed countries for getting the technology. Actually, our Indian people go there and they get the opportunity to exhibit their brain, and they are developing the technology which India is buying at a later stage at a phenomenal pricing. You name any of the big corporations in the world, they're all now the top-notch professionals are our Indians who all graduated from our IITs or IIMs, and they're all ruling the entire world. So that is the opportunity available for the engineers who are hearing this discussion. See, mechanical engineering basics will never change because it is built on fundamental science, physics, chemistry, mathematics. So that is not going to change. What is going to change is the speed at which the application of these mechanical engineering principles. So that is going to change with all the computer innovations. Say, I worked for 10 years in aeronautics industry, though I'm a mechanical engineer. In those days, it used to take 15 years to build an aircraft, to see an aircraft from the scratch. So that they cut down to 5 years. But whether the building of the aircraft, the fundamentals have changed, no. It has got the wings, it has got the fuselage, it has got the engines, it has got the tailplane, everything, cockpit, everything is same. But the speed at which this was built has come to 1/3 of the time it was taking. That is the innovation that has come through the all this the computer innovations in terms of all solid modeling, etc., etc., etc. But the basics are not going to change. Whether somebody can be, yeah, all these things are tools which will help to accelerate the rate at which the applications can be put to use. So whether the tools alone can do the job, no. So you need to know the application, what type of tool to be applied where. So that you need to know. For that, you need a very sound basics in the mechanical engineering. What do you study in mechanical engineering? You study about the strength of material. You study about the fluid mechanics. You study about how the heat transfer or heat power engineering, or you study about how the various mechanisms are working. These are the things you are going to study. So these are the things that are fundamental. It's you are not going to drive a car without four wheels or without an axle or without a chassis. You may drive with an electrical mechanism, but that is different. But to build this, you need to have a strong fundamentals of mechanical engineering in terms of understanding the strength of materials, understanding the metallurgy, understanding the how the fluid mechanics or fluid dynamics works. All those things you have to understand. So just jumping into, in fact, during my interviews, I ask students, what type of design you make. They say that I do solid modeling, this, that, and all. But just ask them a simple sketch, how this looks. Can you just make a sketch and show me? No, they are not able to show. So they are so weak in fundamental. I think the first and foremost is the students must join, develop passion for mechanical engineering, and understand all the basics. But are you going to stop only with mechanical engineering? No. No field in this world, no product in this world is made with one discipline in engineering. You take either a laptop or your mobile phone, or you take any product that is working. It is a combination of multi-discipline. You need electrical, you need electronics, you need mechanical, you need metallurgy, you need everything. So all sorts of engineering that gets into making a product. But where is the starting point? The starting point is mechanical engineering. I was sharing before this discussion in the morning. I started as a mechanical engineer. I worked, started as a mechanical engineer, graduated as a mechanical engineer, but worked in 10 years in aeronautics as an aeronautics engineer. Then worked in electrical and electronics, making high precision sensors for working in digital electronics weighing. So I have completely converted into a multidiscipline engineer. You will become. That is what the direction. Your question is, what are the critical challenges? Learn the basic mechanical engineering very sound. Then learn all these tools which can accelerate the application of this mechanical engineering in the field, whatever your chosen field, whether you want to develop a missile, you want to develop a satellite, or you want to develop whatever defense systems, everything starts with the fundamentals of the mechanical engineering. See, another advantage, being a mechanical engineer, it is very, your mind is so trained well. You can switch into any type of engineer or other engineering disciplines very, very quickly. What are the opportunities being a mechanical engineer? Okay, everybody cannot work in product design because still India lacks very much in the investments in the research and development. But there are a lot of talks going on how to accelerate the research and development so that we will have a lot of innovations built in our country. So innovation is going to give a lot of wealth to the nation. Okay, so that is one part. But there are many, many disciplines where the mechanical engineers can work. If you take our group of companies, so we are flooded. See, our group of companies, if you take only, you will see every alternate person, you will see either an engineer or a CA. Only two disciplines, chartered accountants. So the reason why engineering, we make a highly engineered product. For even selling the engineered product, we hire sales engineers who are all hardcore mechanical engineers who can do the sales. I'm sorry, I may be exceeding my time limit a couple of minutes. Bear with me. And you take any of the operating functions, you take whether it is planning or whether it is production, whether it is quality or whether it is handling customer service. For everything we need engineers. It's not that engineer sits and only develop the product design. Yes, good. Very few people get the opportunity to sit and work in front of computer, understand the products and configure the products, etc. But there is a whole lot of discipline where mechanical engineers are required to make that design, what is in the paper or in the computer, into a product which is useful to the people. So these are the various functions where the people can find opportunities. I'm sure in most of the organizations, you will see engineering companies doing the commodity products. So you see the engineers are employed in various functions. You take industries, it is not limited only to automobile, is a very big industry. There is no doubt about it. There are so many industries where the mechanical engineers are required. Defense production is going to be one of the biggest developing sector in our country. Similarly, if you take the automation, so the automation of factories, that is going to be, because we are producing in small scale. If you have to produce, if you have to compete in the outside world, we need to produce at huge volumes at affordable cost and with a lot of automation. That is where your robotics, all those things are coming. In fact, even in Sanmar Group, we are investing a lot of money in the automating the product, so that the skill level of the people are deteriorating. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are not able to get that type of talented, hardworking people coming into the workforce now. So more and more automation is picking up. All these things are opportunities for the mechanical engineers to cash on. But to start with, the fundamental is understand the basic principles of mechanical engineering very well. Then you can go and shine anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent perspective from the veteran. It's really career grading aspects, very important inputs from Mr. Balasubramanian K, President Sanmar Group. Thank you, sir. Well, we are halfway mark. The expert views on mechanical engineering was absolutely a feast this morning. Being a mechanical engineer, I'm so proud to hear the strength of mechanical engineering from cutting-edge corporate experts. Thank you. Let me start the discussion in a different perspective. How the academic world, students need to take advantage out of it. So let's begin the discussion in a little different perspective. Let me go to Mr. Thanu Shanmugam again, the General Manager, Renault Nissan. Sir, let me ask you very straight. Are mechanical engineering graduates saleable in the Indian job market currently? How are the young mechanical engineers positioned at the moment? What's the way forward? Please, sir.
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You are asking very difficult question, actually. I understand this. Anyhow, let me tell you, like, with respect to the mechanical engineering, the demand in the industry seems quite promising. So according to the global consultancy of Deloitte, and they expect India to grow in the manufacturing year of 2025, tremendously. So this competitive index also says India will move from 6th position to 5th position. So India will hold its manufacturing sector, and that will give numerous opportunities for the mechanical engineers in India. This is the present situation. And also the compensation packages for this mechanical engineers are, it's going to depend upon their skills and expertise, and that is more important for them to develop. And also they have to bridge the gap between the requirements as well as existing capability from that side. For the students, it's like completion of the course itself is not going to help them. So let them learn in a passionate way and try to understand the basic fundamentals as explained by Balasan. Actually, that is more important. So what we understood is, at present that talent only is not enough, and there is a gap between the industrial requirements and the existing skill of the mechanical engineering. So they have to develop that skills, particularly that application point of view, execution point of view. With respect to the mechanical engineer, they have to look into that aspect and to try to develop self. We have many industries, at present in India. It's it's moving in the right direction, especially if you take aerospace industries. Throughout the world, it's like people are going for the flying cars and to reusable satellites and rockets and missiles, etc., etc. It's going in different directions. So all this area requires mechanical engineers with concepts of understanding the physics, and it requires also try to understand the dynamics to improve the design and efficiency in the systems. As you know, the automobile industry, I am also from one of the automobile industry, and I'm working for 25 years in this area. And it is also one of the fastest growing. Okay, last 2 years, maybe due to the pandemic issues, we are having some issues, but it's going in the right directions. And this we are not doing able to do the production because of the semiconductor issues. Recently, the issues happened with respect to the semiconductor, and it gives in terms of enormous opportunities for the Indian people also to develop, like Indian engineers also develop in that directions and think of developing the alternate ways for making sure that customer satisfaction is also being met. And we have opportunities in chemical industries and the construction industries and the consumer goods industries, which is all it's going in right direction in India, as it is development in terms of growth is very high. So mechanical engineers scope in this area, especially for construction industries in terms of ventilations, air conditioning, heating, etc., etc. All these are mandatory. Without mechanical engineers, definitely it's not possible to develop this type of industries also. If you come to the defense industry, yes, there is a complex system, and it's very difficult for the all people to understand this. They should know the 3D modeling, and they should know the analysis of tools and thermal properties of that defense items actually, and they should be able to develop and show their skills and execute the things actually, even though the training will be given by the respective departments. But if they really understand the basic fundamentals in terms of physics and mathematics, definitely this application of those people will be much suitable here. Electronic industries, as I already touched upon this area, and we are going for semiconductor shortage, especially for the chips, which is worldwide. It's impacting the semiconductors, and it's the most important for the automobile industries. We expect by 2040, 50% of the vehicle will be having the semiconductor. That is the highlight I would like to highlight here. And marine industries, yeah, they are going developing the new ships, which is able to carry the fighter aircrafts, etc., etc. And definitely the employment is there for the all mechanical engineers. So there also for the materials and the metal industries, especially for gas turbines and pipe works, etc. In the shaft in the thermal industries, it's mandatory for mechanical engineers to develop. For the rails also now in India, it's growing like anything, and we are going to bring the new bullet trains as per the new government. And these are all the areas where people will be, requirements will be on the higher side. And yeah, more one of the core areas, like as Balasan said, that's a research and development area where the scope of the mechanical engineers also is more important because they only can develop the new designs, and that applications can be made through software. That is clear. And space technology, yes, we are already in moving forward in that direction. So what finally I would like to say, including infrastructure, the scope is very vast for all mechanical engineers. So for my request to the students and the existing mechanical engineers who are studying now, we have to prepare ourselves for meeting this challenging environment, challenging requirements. And also my request to the education institution is to bring the gap between the industry and the industrial norms and the institutions people's output. And the simple advice to my this new students will be like let them try to apply new ideas. Say wherever there is a problem, there is an opportunity for all of us, and try to develop. Make sure that you are able to develop some solution for this. Get the guidance from the teachers in that area, lecturers from that area, and make sure that you are able to innovate from your side. Don't limit yourself as a mechanical engineer. Go ahead as much as possible to apply the digital learnings with software, and try to apply much patterns as much as possible. So patterns, if you are applying with the support of lecturers, definitely it will be adding value for your career growth, and that will help you in getting the job as much as early as possible. And say getting learning other disciplines like IT or the other fields is easy compared to mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering is the base and mother of the all engineering point of view. So we can do the learning of the other digital learnings in a side by side. It's possible. But if you are expert and if you are very clear in the basic fundamentals of mechanical engineering, everything is possible from your side. I wish you all the best in your new assignment and career. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Great to hear. Knowing the mechanical fundamental is first and foremost thing to know everything. Beautifully said, sir. And also, it's really motivating to know all of us this morning that mechanical engineering is in right direction. You covered with plenty of applications. It's great to hear, sir. It's really motivating. It's now Mr. Lakshmi Narasimhan's turn, Prex India General Manager. Sir, my question to you, how will be the career growth curve of a mechanical engineering graduate in a typical Indian industry environment after joining the job? Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Once again, my sincere thanks to the KCG management, Mr. Bala and Mr. Tanu Shanmugam for the excellent insights given on this particular moment. It's a learning for me. Many thoughts I will learn for today, the 10 minutes or whatever it may be. It's a bit bite learning, what we call it as today. As you rightly put the question that today the career opportunities for a mechanical engineer may be in a slow pace initially, but over the years as they graduate into a graduation and then coming into a company, add on experience, the career picks up the speed. As rightly said by Professor Bala, whatever I call him, he is able to say that as and now mechanical engineer is adding an experience, its value adds. Not like a software engineer where you need to gear up at regular intervals so that you are able to learn something new on that. So what does that career means for any engineer, for myself? First, you need to know yourself, what are the interests you have, what are the values, what are your current skills which you can develop, and what assets you own and what are the resources you have as a personality, and then doing that. The second point, you need to explore the career speed, the pace of the career depends on how do you improve your learning quotient and technical quotient. We also call that LQ and TQ, and which comes from your SQ, the social quotient, which makes your HQ, the happy quotient. So the learning quotient is very important. As rightly said by my previous panelist, you need to research, trying things out new, narrow down the choice and find the fit one so that you will be able to take a pace in your career. Maybe a slow starter for a mechanical engineer today, but over a period of 3 to 5 years, the speed at which it gears up, it will be going for, as rightly said, by like a bullet train. So I always call and tell trainees, mechanical engineers, that we start our journey in a passenger train, getting into an express train, moving into Duronto or Shatabdi Express, then to bullet train. But see that your choices, the goals, what you have, plans, what you have, the barriers, what you have to overcome by means of learning and unlearning and relearning has to happen at regular intervals. When this going with an action plan, the career for a mechanical engineer is definitely a successful one. And today's Indian engineers have got a bright prospects across the various industries, not only the engineering manufacturing industry, it can be any industry, it will be IT industry or a government industry or a FMCG or a textile industry, wherever you call, there is a bright opportunity is there. My only final advice to the young engineers who are sitting in this hall, ensure that as an engineer, you need to think and add value to your profession, your role, what you are doing. As and well, you are adding value to yourself by means of doing an innovation, doing an improvement at work. Definitely your career path will be at a pace which you decide, slow pace or a fast pace. Definitely great opportunities are available. Thank you once again for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your bold views. It was a great insight to the young minds. Let me finally move to our senior most panel expert, Guru of Training Vertical, Mr. Balasubramanian, President Sanmar Group once again. Sir, very interesting question to you and very relevant question to you. What do you think is the best for a graduate mechanical engineer to possess, the skill set which mechanical engineers must possess? Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, I put it in one single word for the question which has got about 10 words. Passion. It is the passion in engineering that will drive you. That is important. Before that, I will add on to my fellow panelists' viewpoints. One, what is the career growth curve for a mechanical engineer? I'll tell you, it depends on you. You can be the top notch or the top brass in an organization. I'm not saying this just like that. I joined as a management trainee after mechanical engineering in HAL Bangalore. I spent my 10 years, first 10 years career building tooling for the first supersonic fighter built in the country. Added to that, I got involved during those days in building tooling for the rocket launch vehicles, SLV. Today we talk about GSLV and all. The first step was taken when I was there. See, a bunch of mechanical engineers who started together in way back in 1980. I came out of HAL and joined the Sanmar Group, where I grew to the level of a president managing the businesses. My batchmates who stayed there, they become the board of directors of the entire HAL, which is a $3 billion corporation. My batchmate was the chairman and managing director. The entire board was my batchmates of 4 or 5 people. They were running the mega organization. It's a $3 billion corporation employing about 40,000 people. So that is the limit. You can go and hit the top. That is the career growth path available for the mechanical engineers. But all depends on you. If you decide to stay low profile, you stay low. If you decide, yes, I will hit the top, you will hit the top. So that much opportunities are available for the people. The second, I put it, mechanical engineering graduates sellable in the Indian market. I will probably answer it a little negative sense, but I will make it positive. Mechanical engineering graduates, underline graduates, they are not saleable. Mechanical engineers are saleable, highly saleable. The reason is, if you just add a degree to your this one, two letters, BE or B Tech, so that is not going to help you sell yourself in the market. Develop passion, be a good mechanical engineer, then you are highly saleable. Now we go behind some people who are very, very qualified engineers. We go and try to recruit such type of people because that is the talent what people need to develop. So for all that, it is the passion. Just don't look at developing, adding a degree to you. If you add a degree to you, yes, you will stay very low in your career. You are not going to grow. But if you develop passion for mechanical engineering, yes. So what are the key qualities that is required? The fundamental quality when we interview so many people, I was fortunate to interview a couple of thousand engineers pan India. The first and foremost requirement is good communication skills. Unfortunately, okay, people come from the rural background. That doesn't matter. It's not the language. We don't expect when you say communication skill, we don't expect is the highly sophisticated use of English language and vocabulary. That is not what I meant. Communication skill is you must be able to express your thoughts in clear words, whether it is in the local language, Tamil or English or Hindi, whatever the language, you must be able to express yourself better. That is the first and foremost skill that is required. What mechanical engineering will help you to develop? The mechanical engineering will help you to develop your logical thinking capabilities. So engineers are logical thinkers. You don't jump the gun. You always think step by step and go through the iteration process and come to a conclusion. So that is the skill set what you have to develop. That is how you solve the mechanical problems. You solve the mathematical problem. You make some assumption, validate the assumptions, assumption, then finally you say QED. Okay, so that is how the mechanical engineering brain is trained. And you develop a lot of analytical skills. By doing so, you think vertical, you think deeper, you think horizontal. So you explore different options and try to multiply the whatever the inputs what you have. You try to come up with the different permutation combinations and come up with the best of the solutions possible. And the mechanical engineers are good troubleshooters. You must be able to troubleshoot, and you must be able to finally come up with the right solutions for any problem. So for doing all these things, you need the basic knowledge. Skill gets developed from the knowledge. Where you will get the knowledge? Go to the school, understand. Don't study just for the sake of getting marks. Getting 100 out of 100 without understanding the subject is a waste. Understand the subject very well. You must be able to visualize. Mechanical engineering is, it's though you see in all delta and gamma, alpha, beta, but you must be able to visualize the things, how things work, what made the things, how the various parts of the engineering principles are used to build this part to work. So those type of thinking capabilities, if you develop, those things are the assets. You will be highly saleable in the market. But if you just study and just score some marks, it's difficult because you may land up in a job which may not be that lucrative. But if you develop passion and if you develop all these skills, you will be a hot cake in the market. Pretty sure, because they see this year we have recruited for Sanmar about 40 engineers. Normal year we recruit. This is year we have recruited partly from 2020 batch and 2021 batch. Put together about 60 odd people we have engineers we have recruited. In a best of the year we recruit close to 100 engineers. 100 engineers is a big number for a group like us. Engineering this one. So you get a lot of opportunities. See, ours is one company. Like there's so many companies. Now my co-panelist talked about the various industries. You name any type of industry, there is a demand for the mechanical engineers. What type of mechanical engineers? Not for mechanical engineering graduates. Yeah, real mechanical engineers who understand, say, basics very well. I wish the colleges are very well equipped with a lot of facilities. And today the world of the YouTubes and this one, it gives you so much of visualization. Understand the principles very well. Understand the science behind how each one of the products very well. You can multiply, as my co-panelist told. So you start in the passenger train, and within about 5 years' time, you will be driving a bullet train. So your mind is so powerful to multiply things and apply the things just like that. This one. So that is the power. So understand the basics very well. Question everything what you come across. Don't take it just like that. Question why things work like. Unfortunately, as when we are child, we ask a lot of questions. Up to the year of 3 or 5, we ask a lot of questions on various things, silly things. Because you don't have fear, even if it is very relevant, not relevant, you ask questions. But unfortunately, over a period of time, we lose our questioning ability. As a mechanical engineer, don't take anything for granted unless you are convinced that the answer is right and the logic is right. Because you're a logical thinker, you will be able to think through and accept that things are working this way. So if you do that, I am pretty sure that all you guys will get very well placed and your growth will be very, very accelerated growth in the next 2-3 decades. Take it from me, India is going to grow multifold. The technology will be an added technology. The basics remain same. Probably the machining, the basics of machining will remain same. Maybe you may get into 3D printing and all those things, but basic design, basic method of manufacturing, all those things will same. All these principles will be applied. It will not go waste. Whatever you study in your curriculum, it will not go waste. Your curriculum is built on built on certain principles. That is, you don't know which field you're going to enter, whether you're going to get into aerospace or in automotive, or whether you're going to the chemical industry. Chemical industry, our chemical industry, we have a lot of mechanical engineers, because how the plant will run, huge plant will run. You need good mechanical engineers who can diagnose the problem and fix the problem quickly. So every industry needs mechanical engineers. Please understand the principles, understand the basics very well. You may be slow, don't worry about it. You can get into the bullet train very, very soon, and your career growth also will go very much up. So I wish all the very best to all the students who are hearing this discussion, and all those students who are aiming to get into the engineering. One thing I would say, that all the software things, all this so you can get into a software world, but you need to be on your toes all the time. Otherwise, within 2 years you'll be obsolete. Once one mobile phone comes into the market, other mobile phone is with a lot more features is ready to be out in the market. So all the software, hardware, everything is built in. So that is the rate of obsolescence. But mechanical engineering, take it from me, nobody can change the strength of material, stress, strain, or shear stress, or this one, it won't change as long as these signs won't change. So it's very easy to multiply once you understand the basics very well. I wish you all the very best, and take mechanical engineering and build your career on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You just nailed it. You know, one line: graduate engineers with BTech are not saleable. Real engineers are saleable. I think that has summed up everything. Thank you so much. And as you rightly said, being a thermal engineer, I would also add in my part that thermodynamics laws are not going to change forever. So with that, let me open the floor for question and answer from the audience, students, parents, anybody in the meeting could throw the questions in the chat box. We are not allowing to unmute because that may disturb with noise and background stuff, etc. So all the questions can be thrown in the chat box. We will read it out. Any one of our panel member will pick by their choice. So all of them are experienced panel members. Even same question could be answered from two panel members. It's not a problem because we will hear different perspectives. So we welcome questions. Please go ahead. Yeah, students who are sitting, anybody in the meeting can ask the question. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm Adarsh Menon from third year mechanical department. The question from my side is, in these days, there are two sections for BE and BTech. What is the difference between BE and BTech? In even the most industries also select students from BTech section. So even my friends also go for BTech instead of BE. So do we have any scope in BE section?
Can I answer this?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, virtually there is no difference. It may be the way the curriculum is built, some of the subjects are coined. Now, when we recruit people, we don't make a difference between a BE or a BTech. So both are equal in front of us. So what is important is how well you know the subject. So that is important. So I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, any industry is differentiating between the BE or BTech. So most of us, we treat both or the same, the BE or BTech, the curriculum is same. Maybe some subjects may be given little. Say, what is technology? Technology is you go closer to things. Whereas when you say BE engineering, just it states with a macro level. That is what the understanding, but it is not so. Uh, in fact, I studied from Aragavachitya College of Engineering and Technology. So it's called BE only, but the college name is both engineering and technology. So it doesn't make a big difference.
So can I add a few more points?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, my dear friend, the question is very valid, as you have got a very versatile faculties at KCG, Mr. Dr. Chandra Mohan and Dr. Madam Principal. B is the course, the certificate given by the colleges which is affiliated to Anna University, and some other colleges which is autonomous. I think they call this BTech. As rightly said by Professor Bala, there is no absolute difference. Industries don't differentiate BE or BTech. For us, it's an engineering degree. Whether you call it as BE or BTech, in whatever, maybe as rightly said by Professor Bala, it is whether your attitude to learn, attitude to perform, attitude to exhibit your talent on the day of recruitment, you are getting selected. So no differentiation for anything on that.
Absolutely, sir. I would like to add a little more also. You just made it very clear that Anna University affiliated says Bachelor of Engineering, and a lot of autonomous institutions says technology, and many other part of this country other than Tamil Nadu calls BTech. That's the confusion. But very interestingly, Anna University also gives few degrees in the name of BTech. That's where all this question rises. For example, in the Anna University, in the engineering college, BTech always called BTech Chemical, right? Chemical engineering called BTech Chemical Engineering, and IT is always called information technology. Computer science is called computer science and engineering. So this is just a notation for the audience. It's just a notation. Let's not get into too much. Whether it is BE or BTech, as experts said, let's become a real engineer. That's what matters most. Thank you for your question. Let's hear some other questions, please.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
I'm Ebenezer from third year mechanical. My question is, why companies are preferring design engineers rather than manufacturing and thermal engineer?
Can I go out, sir?
Yeah, please.
My dear friend, companies don't prefer anybody as a design engineer or manufacturing engineering. As a company, we have manufacturing engineering, we bring the engineers onto our board, train them in manufacturing, identify their potential, where are they good, whether they are good in manufacturing, whether they are good in quality, whether they are good in process engineering, whether they are good in product engineering. Based on that only we go ahead. The design courses certificates adds value to move to a product engineer. That's all. So there no company differentiate in the beginning that we want only a design engineer. Many are under the impression that we want to go into a ACPC culture. As a mechanical engineer, I said to Mr. Bala, you need to work with your hands, gain experience, then go to a design. It adds value. So today we are looking at people to be in the manufacturing for about 3 to 5 years, then move to a design environment for a product design or a process engineering. It adds value to the individual. It adds also value to the organization. That's what we don't differentiate in the initial part.
I put it in a slightly different way. You cannot have a doctor operating a patient just coming out from college, right? Will you go and lie on the bed? A doctor coming out with a MBBS degree coming and doing you an operation? No. You need to have practice. You need to have proper training. You need to work with your own hands and understand things. Then if you sit in the design, you will be able to visualize things much better. Otherwise, you will make a design which is not manufacturable or which is not user friendly, which is not useful to the customer. So there is nothing. You learn basic design tools. Yes, you learn AutoCAD, you learn SolidWorks, you learn Creo or whatever. All those things you learn. These are the tools which will help you to do the design work. Whatever in your mind you can translate into yeah, pictorial form so that you can convey the messages very easily. That's what. As Mr. Lakshminarayan said, no, we don't take directly people for the design. So, okay, in our companies, we don't do the design because our designs are made by our joint venture partners, but we do some adaptive design. So that's why we call it as product engineering. We do the adaptive design in the product engineering. Even for that, you need to work in the manufacturing. You need to understand how things are made. Otherwise, sitting and making something which you cannot manufacture. So that is of no use, you know. It is just it's like a odd piece. You can hang it in the wall, right? So it's not that as like Mr. Lakshmanan told, we don't differentiate whether if you have design skills, if you have there's some knowledge in the design tools, that's an additional qualification so that that can be put into use when you come and on board. Right?
Thank you.
That answers your question. Thank you.
Yeah, next question, please.
Sir, this is Karthikeyan from mechanical third year, sir. Why mechanical engineers are paid low compared to CSE and IT engineers? They have been paid 25 to 30 as a fresher. For mechanical engineers, they have been paid 15 to 17,000 as a fresher.
Okay, can I answer that question?
Please, sir, please.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a wrong understanding what you have. Today, the IT people, yes, I agree. Maybe about 7, 8 years back, the IT professionals were paid. When you get into, as an engineer, when you get into IT profession, you are paid more than mechanical engineers. Today, it is not so. So we do conduct the survey regularly to benchmark our salary structure with vis-a-vis the other industries. Definitely we benchmark with IT, we benchmark with other, because we are in chemicals, we are in engineering, so we cut across the spectrum of all the industries. So an engineer who joins Sanmar Group, his salary is 4.3 lakhs starting salary. Whereas the same engineer, when they join the IT companies, their salary is only 3 lakhs per annum, right? In fact, we have taken some people who have dropped the IT company and joined us because one of the salary structure, another one, where after studying engineering, you don't want to sit and do the codification. What is that? So somebody says, this is what you write the code. It's a labor. You are not an engineer. You are working as a labor. You are working as a white collar labor. But here you are an engineer. You think you create a product and add value. See, for that, why some companies pay mechanical engineers 17,000, 18,000 salary and all? Because they don't see so much of value in you. You are an engineering graduate. You are not an engineer. You prove that you are an engineer. You can run a CNC machine. You stand in front of the CNC machine, write the program, put it on the machine, produce the product. Your salary will shoot up from 17,000 to 35,000. You need to develop that type of skill sets. You don't develop that type of skill set, that's why you are paid low. In fact, the diploma holders in our companies are earning more than that. Diploma holders who study just 3 years after 10th standard, they are earning more than that. That's why you don't give importance to attach a degree to you or a letter to you. Develop passion, work with your own hands, come up with a lot of your innovative ideas. Then sell those ideas during the interview. You will get a better opportunity. Right?
Thank you, sir. Very well said. Next question, please.
Sir, I am Santosh from third year mechanical department. Why postgraduates or higher qualified persons are not recruited in an industries nowadays?
Okay. Yeah, I'll answer this question. We do recruit postgraduates. Say, when you go to the post-graduation, you narrow down your scope of employment opportunities. Say, as a mechanical engineer, you are very flexible. You can work in production or you can work in procurement of engineering products. You can work in quality. You can work in engineering, product engineering, application engineering, sales, marketing, all those functions you can work. Once you go to a postgraduate, then you narrow down your discipline to a particular area and you love to work only in that area. So then the opportunities gets shrunk. See, we do recruit postgraduates for metallurgists because we run a huge foundry. So in that foundry, metallurgy becomes a very, very critical part. And to understand the metallurgical aspects of various varying materials, you need to understand the metallurgy very well. So there we recruit the postgraduates in metallurgy. But how many people we recruit? I recruit 1 or 2. Whereas how many mechanical engineers I recruit? 90. So once you narrow down your scope in post-graduation, then the opportunities are limited. That's why many people, what they do, get into a job with your undergraduation, then develop, then understand how things work. There is no point in keeping on studying without putting your knowledge into the application. Learn the practical aspect, then select the field which is going to give added value to you in the job. In fact, we sponsor some people for higher education, either on their own or company sponsors based on the need. Suppose I need somebody to run a robotic machine. I want somebody to be developed in robotics. Then we pick the people who has got all the basic process knowledge, send them to top up with the robotic skills. So that will help. So if you go directly for post-graduation, then you keeping on adding degree. That's what I told you. Adding degree is not going to add value. You have to physically exhibit the engineering talent. Right? Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for all your time. I think we are running short of time, so we are almost at the end of the program. So we would like to quickly conclude this panel discussion. So one last question we would like to hear from the student or anybody, please.
Good day, sir. My name is Alex John. Hope you're having a nice day. My question to you, sir, is mentioning what you said previously about doctors who are MBBS students and they just pass out of college, and you would rather have them study more than just operate on people. Mentioning that, would you rather prefer a person who has had work experience right out of college with the same passion that you mentioned previously? Would you rather prefer that person or someone who has the same passion and he has studied a master's program in something that he's more interested in?
Okay. See, we know that we make products. See, automotive products are pretty well known, but what we make, the products what we make, it's all highly engineered products, and there are very few players in the marketplace who makes these types of products. So getting experience in these type of products, say for example, a mechanical seal or a Teflon lined valve or a ruptured disc. So you take the number of players in the market for each one of the product, there may be about 5 or 10 people only will be there. So it is not possible to get the people from the competing industries for this role. I'm sorry, I'm getting a call. I'll disconnect it. And we also know that the colleges cannot teach all these products because they teach all the basic principle. If you take a Flowserve mechanical seal, you have to understand metallurgy, you have to understand the manufacturing processes, you have to understand some design aspects, you have to understand the fluid mechanics very well, you understand the material properties very well, you understand all the physical parameters, how it acts, pressure, temperature, volume, all those things, the viscosity, all those things, how it acts. All these things are interlinked to make into a particular product. This product cannot be taught at length in the college. It is impossible. That's why once you come into our fold, we select the people. That's the reason we run the training institute. It's like a finishing school. You come with all the basic knowledge. We pull all those knowledge put together to make how to make this product. We teach about the products, how to make this product, the design aspects, the application aspects and all. But there are very few, probably chemical engineering is one discipline where majority of the things what you study in the curriculum, either in the undergraduation or post-graduation, you can put it into use directly because there everything works on calculations, either thermodynamics or mass balance or energy balance, all those calculations, whatever you study, same thing is applicable in the workplace as well. But when you get into mechanical engineering industry, which is the application of all the mechanical engineering principles, what you study. That's why most of the companies, they recruit the people, give them the initial training in their product and manufacturing design aspects, etc., then absorb that. So that's one of the reasons why we don't prefer a postgraduate unless but metallurgy, if you take it, it's a science. They come like a scientist. They come like a scientist. So their area, they're not going to change. If I cast a material out of duplex material and you have to analyze the structure, whatever you study in the school, whatever you do at work, it's same. It doesn't make a difference. Hope that answers the questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you so much for all the inputs. It was highly valuable inputs.
There is a question in the chat, sir. There is a question in the chat. So there is a question in the chat, sir.
Yeah, correct. He wanted to speak. So instead, we prefer him to type so that, yeah, Lindsay, Shanta, please, could you please type?
No, there is a question from Gokul Kumar.
Yeah. Yeah, let me read out that. Yeah. What are the opportunities for a fresh, non IIT mechanical engineer in aerospace field, space field, etc. Will it be good decision to get a master's sudden after our bachelor's and later join in the industry? I think that's the same question have
Yes.
been in the rounds for last 2-3 questions. So whether master's directly after Bachelor of Engineering or after working some time, that's the question. Anyone can take it up, sir.
Yeah, my suggestion will be to go in for industry, gain for 2-3 years of experience, and then go and do a master's will be much more value addition, because you go with an industry experience so that you can be a better master's engineer, which adds much value and you can do it. And today industries also permit people to do a part-time. Of course, many colleges doing in like KCG and all doing a wonderful programs for the working professionals. So that will be an ideal one where you also earn and also learn. So this will help you to be a successful person. So that's the one thing. The second part, as you rightly put, aerospace, space or space industry, it's not only the IITs or NITs are going to get into space. Anybody can get into it. Today, the Indian space industry is moving away in a better, fast pace. Today, you have got the space tourism. So things are moving in that dimensions. So in the next decade or so, definitely this industry is going to go. A lot of private players are going to come in a big way. Even a mechanical engineer will get an opportunity to play a great role in the space industries. Today, more and more companies are coming. I think the corridor which is there in the ECR, that said, a lot of defense and other aerospace related equipments companies are going to come on that. That much will be an opportunity for all of us. Lindsay wants to speak. I think he can speak. Yeah.
All right, sir. I think we are running short of time, so let's conclude the session. Let me hear the final one word of the conclusion from all the panel members. Let me go to Mr. Thanu Shanmugam first.
Only one word, sir. As already discussed, a passion. Develop the passion and make sure that you are developing your skills and go for it. That's it.
Yeah, Mr. Lakshmi Narasimhan, please.
Add value to yourself as a mechanical engineer, because you have chosen this profession. The more you add value, you are growing faster.
Thank you, sir. Let me ask the Guru again, Mr. Balasubramaniam, please, sir.
Be proud to be an excellent engineer. That's what the passion, I put it in a different English. I always feel a lot of pride for myself. It's not to boast myself or anything, because there are in many situations we crack a lot of issues and come up with the best of the engineering solutions. I'll tell you the amount of satisfaction what it gives, tons of money cannot give. That's why make sure that you are the best mechanical engineer. Keep that as a goal and work towards that. I'm sure that anyone can reach that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. So it all summed down to passion and practicality, learning the practical skills. I think that's really wonderful to hear from the experts. Thank you all for your time, and it's really enlightened all of us. Let me conclude this program by inviting our head of the department, Mechanical Engineering, KCG College of Technology, to give the word of thanks. He is Mr. Jesdas. Please, sir.
Good afternoon to all. It's my privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks amidst this wonderful gathering. I take this opportunity to thank our panelists, Mr. K. Balasubramanian, President, SR Seshadri Training Institute, the Sanmar Group, Mr. N. Lakshmi Narasimhan, General Manager, Brakes India Private Limited, and Mr. Thanu Shanmugam, General Manager, Renault Nissan Automotive India Private Limited, and our moderator, Mr. Chandramohan, General Manager, Industry Partnership and Corporate Affairs. Thank you very much for sparing your time on a Saturday. We are truly honored by your presence. This program is an eye-opener with excellent insights for those who were hopeless about the promising career and endless opportunities in the field of mechanical engineering. For any professional, irrespective of the career path they take, key factors like hard work, perseverance, passion for knowledge, exemplary skills in the profession, ability to work in the teams, the great quest for achievements compassion and love for the society, etc., will ensure success and job satisfaction rather than just making huge money. Indeed, name, fame, recognition, and monetary benefits will surely follow those who find passion in their profession. Therefore, I make an appeal that to all my student friends who attended this program to enjoy learning, share knowledge, and experiment on innovating new things in the field of mechanical engineering and share the joy of learning with the budding engineers. I also take this opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. Devasundari Madam, and our management for all the support and guidance in conducting this event. I also thank our team of technical support staff for their assistance in conducting this program today. I thank the faculty and students from other colleges and also each and every participant of this program. I also thank our faculty team for their support. Finally, my thanks to all my department students who are present for the program. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.